Now you see it, now you don't. A small discovery that the ORA team made about this filefish by accident in this Fincast.
I use the Chemipure Elite and Nuvo 16 and a couple teaspoons in a bag on each side and change it out like once a month, and it just keeps everything pure and clean, no phosphates, everything's good to go. It's pretty much a worry-free system because of the Chemipure.
Hi everybody, John here with another Fincast, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about an interesting discovery that the team at ORA, Oceans, Reefs, and Aquariums, made about one of the filefish that they're now aquaculturing. This filefish is known as the Aiptasia Eating Filefish, or matted filefish. It comes from the Indo-Pacific, and we'll talk a lot more about it before we're done here today. But let me talk a little bit about the discovery that these folks made. Of course, as you know, if you've been watching some of these Fincasts, or if you click around, you'll see it. But every year, I have the opportunity to attend the Global Pet Expo, and there are aquariums set up in the area there. And this is where a lot of the big national distributors of aquarium fish come, and they meet with basically the retailers, and they show off all the very latest offerings. And you talk about live fish, and you don't think about the latest offerings, but when you're talking about aquaculture, there actually are new fish that are coming into the hobby. And then what's happening a lot is that there are fish that are now readily available that used to be more rare. And so they have these aquariums set up, and the retailers can kind of see what maybe some of the new fish are that they can sell to their customers. And it's a great opportunity for me because I'm there with the video camera and the still camera, and I can get some pictures of fish and share with you that I hadn't been able to share before. And then right there are some of the guys who have been working with these fish, so they're experts, and I can get interviews with them, and they will share their thoughts with me, and I can share them with you, and so we disseminate the information that way. So it all works out great. But now these aquariums are only set up really for about a week and only on display for the public for maybe 3 days. So while they are pretty, they are not going to be the same as an aquarium that you would see in your local fish store, or an aquarium you would see at home, or a high-end hobbyist aquarium. So ORA is there, Oceans, Reefs, and Aquariums, and they're famous for breeding corals and aquaculturing corals and breeding fish, in particular clownfish, and they do a great job with that. And now they've got this new Aiptasia Eating Filefish that they want to show, and they've just got some plastic decorations in the tank, some orange and some yellow, sort of a fake looking coral. But one of the things that they hadn't really known about this particular filefish was its ability to change colors to the extent that it was changing colors. Now, everybody kind of knows that filefish are really good chameleons. But in this aquarium that had multiples of this filefish, whenever one would swim over to in particular, the yellow plastic, whatever it is, coral, fake coral, the filefish would turn bright yellow and almost disappear. And then just inches away, you'd see the brown filefish. So I was able to sort of do a focus from the brown one to the yellow one, and it was really amazing. So I talked with Jordan No with ORA a little bit about this filefish. I've also gathered some other information, but here's what he had to say about this little discovery.
So it wasn't something that we were fully aware of. We knew that they could change shades of different browns and greens, but with some of the decor we have in the tank, they turn solid yellow and actually even shades of orange based on the environment behind them.
That was kind of a cool discovery.
It was very exciting, yeah. We've taken a lot of pictures. So it's a little shy fish. It won't immediately just go for your Aiptasia or Majanos. It tends to take its time and wait for lower light levels, sometimes as long as 2 weeks before it really starts chowing down on them. People use this fish very regularly, and clears out entire tanks of Aiptasia. Approximate retail range could be, I've seen the wild-caught ones, $30 to $40. It's a very cost-effective means of getting rid of Aiptasia on a natural level. Best fish for in industrial use, getting rid of Aiptasia, but also in a fish tank without corals would be probably the best bet for them.
course, Jordan knows a lot more about these filefish than I do. I did click around a little bit and found some information on the non-aquacultured versions, and most folks out there are saying that this is not considered a reef-safe fish. So you have reef safe with caution, or you have reef safe, but there is some indication, and Jordan acknowledged this, that if you've got some large polyp, LPS, large polyp stony corals, that this fish might nibble on the fleshy tentacles of your corals there. And then also, this is a fish that will readily eat your shrimp and attempt to eat your crabs and that sort of thing. So small invertebrates probably aren't going to do well with this fish either. So this is basically a fish that belongs best in a what we call a fowler tank, fish only with live rock. It does very well, gets along very well with other fish. It's a member of the trigger family, and it is a docile fish, so it's not gonna bother your other fish. But it's going to be difficult for me to recommend this as something that you want to put into your full-on reef tank. There is a fair amount of indication that it is not a fish that will be eating your SPS, your small polyp stony corals, but it seems to like that big fleshy thing that's sticking out in your fish tank, so you want to be careful of that. This is a fish that'll eat meaty frozen foods. I would recommend PE mysis, maybe some brine shrimp, that sort of thing. Lots of personality. Probably want to keep it in an aquarium that's 30 gallons or larger. It gets up to about 3 inches, 3.5 inches. I think Jordan said that. It will spawn in captivity. Thus ORA's success, so they've been able to aquaculture this fish. You'll find that the males are slightly larger than the females, but if you're looking for the environment to put it in, what you're going to want is a fair amount of live rock, because this fish it's been described as shy and it likes a lot of hiding places. And of course, if you have live rock in your tank and not a lot of brightly colored corals, what you're going to wind up with is a brown fish and not a yellow fish and not a green fish. But it does have the ability to change its colors like a chameleon, and then with all the little bristles on the side, this is a fish that can really disappear in your aquarium, which is kind of a cool thing. So if you're all enamored with this fish and you're not really looking for its Aiptasia eating abilities, and again, this is a fish that will eat your Aiptasia, those little stinging anemones that show up in your tank, and there's basically two varieties we typically see in our marine aquariums, what we refer to as the regular Aiptasia or glass anemone, and then some people call them Majanos or Mahanos. Depending upon where you live. This is a little bit more of a fleshy looking anemone, which, while not ugly, will overpopulate your tank and will sting your corals, and it's like crabgrass in your lawn. You just don't want them. So, but if you're looking for a filefish because you think this is interesting, or you like what you've seen in this Fincast, and you want to have a fish of that shape and sort of that character in your aquarium, ORA has been working on the pygmy filefish, and that fish has been found to be reasonably reef safe. In fact, I've kept them in my aquariums, and I have not seen them picking on my corals at all. So there's the little pygmy white-spotted filefish, and then there is ORA is also showing on their website a really cool looking fish called the radial filefish. ORA does not mention on their website whether the radial filefish is reef safe or not, but again, that's going to be about a 3-inch fish that once again hides very well and is famous for its ability to camouflage itself. So a couple of other options out there if what you really want are the filefish, but you're not interested in the bristlenose, matted, or Aiptasia eating filefish, which is the fish that we featured in this Fincast. Hey, by the way, don't forget, while we're talking about aquaculture, my video on the amazing breakthrough with respect to yellow tangs. We talk about the filefish, and that's just a very, very small niche in the aquarium hobby. Not a great number of people looking for that fish, but of course yellow tangs are a mainstay in the hobby, and as far as I know, I've got the only, at least as of this recording, YouTube interview with Dr. Chad Cowan of the Oceanic Institute in Hawaii, the person who figured out with his team there how to aquaculture yellow tangs, and they've had 3 batches, and we've got exclusive video of the first public displays, once again at the Global Pet Expo, of these aquacultured yellow tangs. And so please click on the link and you'll have an opportunity to learn how they actually managed, after between 10 and 20 years of research, to finally aquaculture yellow tangs, and we'll tell you where it goes from there, because it's not at a point yet. Scientists have figured out how to do it, but it's not at the point where commercial producers like ORA, for instance, have been able to aquaculture yellow tangs. But take a look at that video, and it's all explained right there. And Chad Cowan is a great guy, nice guy, and very informative, so I hope you'll enjoy that as well. So thanks for tuning in to this Fincast. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little bit about the chameleon properties of the filefish, the bristle-nosed matted filefish, or Aiptasia Eating Filefish as it's called. Maybe you want to check out one of the other offerings from ORA, and there's some other groups out there doing aquaculture as well. So filefish are something that are really, really fun to have in your aquarium, and they are very interesting. Hey, don't forget to follow me, Fincasters, on Instagram. I put a lot of pictures up there. They're almost all original. Every once in a while I'll put somebody else's picture up there, but I try to pull stuff like this that I get from my own collection, and I do have some opportunities to take some pictures of some interesting things. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next Fincast.